Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. Babe, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm COVID free. We're in person again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so hard to do last time.
Yeah. The audio was all right. You could definitely tell we were not uh, using our normal setup.
Mm-hmm.
I think in hindsight, maybe we should have recorded 2 separate audio tracks on each of our laptops. And then I would have just had I would have just had you send yours to me. But I digress. We used the Zoom audio. And now we know for future purposes probably not to do that because it was like a huge downgrade.
Yeah, I personally did not listen to that one yet.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't. I mean, like the content was solid, but like the audio, I think, because it wasn't as high quality as usual, the immersion in the episode was kind of ruined. So, live and learn. Still learning. So.
Yeah, it was our first time. Maybe our last time. But we definitely got to see with that one.
Definitely. But feels good to be recording. It's a Wednesday night. Just finished all our work. Feeling great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a sparkling water in my hand. We just got done watching a YouTube video, having a little snack. Just vibing.
It has been a really good day, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of woke up a little later than I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, it's been great.
It has been pretty chill day. It's been a pretty chill week. It hasn't been too busy, but I've been getting a lot of work done because this is my second week of school.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting more into assignments, and I've gone with you to your school because most of my classes are virtual, and I've been able to get a ton of work done. And so I'm very far ahead. Not very far ahead, but I'm a couple weeks ahead, which is pretty solid. So I'm glad to be on top of it, unlike last semester and the semesters before those. And so, it feels really good to be where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I've seen like your schedule, or recently, just a few minutes ago. You showed me like one of your classes and what you have to get done by like the 17th. And we're recording this on August 31st.
Yes.
And you have so much time to like get those things done. Honestly, like I didn't look at exactly what you needed to get done, so I don't know how long it's going to take. But you're already ahead because I was looking at where you were. And I'm like, dang, that's so crazy, you know? Because I'm used to you telling me it's due tonight by midnight. And I'm like stressing for you.
Yeah. I had a really bad habit of doing that pretty much all of last year. Like both semesters, that was the biggest thing for me, was waiting till the day it was due because it wasn't a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So waiting till the day it was due probably isn't advised, but if you do that, you should get it done earlier in the day, right? And I never did that. I waited till the day it was due and a couple hours before it was due. And so I never finished the majority of my homework assignments, and my grades obviously were reflected of that. Like you could see, because I didn't do those homework assignments, my grade was much lower than it probably would have been. And then because I didn't do the homework assignments, I didn't comprehend the content as well as I probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I felt like I was constantly in a rush throughout a lot of my classes, and I did that to myself. It was just a lot of procrastination. And so far it hasn't set in, which is pretty good. And I think the reason it hasn't could be like a new discipline, a new attitude I have towards school. It could also be that my classes are enjoyable. Like they're not tedious, about the only one would be my statistics class, but I still have one more after this one that I have to take. But I'm taking like marketing. I'm doing a social media marketing class right now, which is super enjoyable. Personal selling is really enjoyable. And then my organizational and behavioral theory class is super fun. It's the only in-person class I have, and the professor is absolutely hilarious. He's like this Italian New Yorker guy, super hard accent, um, and like just the way, like his demeanor during the class is just hilarious. He's cracking jokes, but he's also like today he was really real with us. He was talking about like, I got a younger daughter, junior year of high school, and they got her trying to make up her mind where does she want to go to college. And like, I was looking at these college applications and they're already asking like, what college do you want to go to? Like, i.e., like she's applying to the universities, but what school does she want to go to within the university? It's like, she's a fucking 17-year-old girl or 16-year-old girl. Like, how is she supposed to know what she wants to do with her life? I was like, the education system is bending y'all over. And I was like, they're just not helping y'all. And like, even the university system, like everything is so expensive. And then y'all are gonna go through college and potentially end up in, all of this debt. Like, you're not even gonna have a chance to start on top. Like, you're already starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, life isn't working in y'all's favor. And then he started getting into like, it wasn't like this 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it was easy. You'd graduate from college. You were guaranteed a, decently paying job that with the money you were making, it was a sure thing that if you had a bachelor's degree and you got a job with that bachelor's degree, you'd be able to get a house, a car. You'd be able to start saving up for your kids and their kids, and it's like 20 years ago, you fast forward to now and it's just, that's not possible. And so, he was kind of being real with it, and he was just like, y'all are fucked. I was like, thanks for that. But it was pretty funny too, because then he started talking about like how his daughter doesn't believe that she's gonna want to switch majors. She's kind of like, I'm gonna figure it out now, and I'm gonna stay set on it. And some people do. I mean, you're an example of that. But then I'm also the example of what my professor said is the majority of people, i.e., they switch at least once. I have switched 3 times. Not anymore. Sticking with where I'm at. I enjoy it. But he even kind of had a similar start to his higher educational career. He was like, I was gonna go to, I forgot what college he said or what university he said, but he said he was gonna study to be an electrical engineer. And he started down the general engineering path. And he was like, I signed up for my physics, my calculus, and my, whatever other courses that it was, chemistry, right? And he was like, fucking first week, I'm looking at all the crap I got to do. And it was right then and there that I knew business was for me. And so he made that joke and we all laughed because I'm a business major. And it's like, yeah, like we're notorious for being a much easier college as far as any other college goes. And I mean, I'm not going to disagree that business is hard, or that I'm not going to disagree that business is easy. In my opinion, I think it is easy. Like it's more concept. It's a lot of conceptual things, learning the lingo, and then obviously there's like accounting and statistics. So there is like mathematics from that standpoint, but nothing too crazy like biology and chemistry where you have to really learn a lot. Like if you're going for like a biology or chemistry degree, and then like an engineering degree, like we don't take physics at all. So business is definitely, I think, a very easy college. So I do agree with that. But there is a lot of variety to business. There's a lot of potential, and you're not so tied down to one path, right? So I think that's what I liked about it, because even now I'm still teeter-tottering on what exactly I want to do with my degree, but I have options, and I like that. I'm not going to be making like the craziest amount of money out the gate, right? Like somebody going into the medical field or in the engineering field. But I'm okay with that, and I'm going to work my way up. I'm thinking kind of the management path. So, 10 years in the workforce, and I will be making as much as an engineer. So it's going to take more time, but I think I'm going to enjoy it more, especially in school. Like, I'm not going to be putting myself through something I think I would have definitely not enjoyed. So I don't know. It's been crazy. First 2 weeks have been nice. I know you've been in school a week longer than me. How's that been going?
Pretty good, I would say. I honestly feel really confident in this semester. And like previously, I've been like, oh, like there's this one class that I know like is going to be super hard for me. But the classes that I'm taking right now, because I don't know, I feel like it's because I've gone through 4 semesters already. So I just know that I'm capable of getting a really good grade in any class. But maybe it's also because I know myself better and I know how to prioritize assignments and all of those things. Not saying that I didn't before, but I have a better grasp on it. Yeah. Especially like mentally, not waiting. I wouldn't say waiting till the last minute. The last minute for me is like a week before and I start panicking. Yeah. But so it's not immediately like last minute. But for me, a week is last minute.
Yeah. I feel like...
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
What was I going to say? Sorry, I hit my toe on the table. And I hope y'all couldn't hear that. But
they definitely heard that.
No.
I saw it here.
I'm so sorry. Dang, I really lost my train of thought.
Well, you were kind of talking about how you don't necessarily wait till last minute, but it can be stressful.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now going into my example of why I think this semester is going to go a lot better. Yeah. So I've been in it for almost a month, and recently I had to do 3 brief cases, and I've never taken a law class before. So this is the first one ever, and I've never done any type of brief for anything. And she was like, oh, it's going to be a little challenging, but we're just going to turn in a first draft, right? But she told us this on Monday, and it was due today, Wednesday. And they're kind of like essays. So when I first saw the assignment, I started panicking. And then I was like, wait a minute. I have until like 11:59. Why am I panicking right now? Yeah. And knowing that I had kind of 3 days to finish it just really helped me. And I wasn't stressed out about it. That also could be because it's a first draft. Yeah. Either way, though, I feel great. So far, so good.
I know. Once you came to that like realization that it was a draft, I just kind of saw this like weight lifted off your shoulders. You were definitely going hard in the paint on those cases. And I mean, props to you. Like, that's just your character and your work ethic. But no, you saw that it was like, oh shit, it's a draft. And you just kind of...
I was like, God bless.
Like your shoulders depressed, like noticeably.
Yeah, well, it's because she was saying if you've never taken like a law class before where you look at the Constitution and stuff, which I haven't, I got I think it's political science or history. I don't know which category it falls under. Yeah. But I had a few credits coming in from high school, so I didn't have to do that, right? So I didn't take that in college at all or in high school. So I don't know how to look at the Constitution or like correctly. I can read it and be like, okay, right, 10th Amendment. Yeah. But I don't know how to be like, oh, so this applies here in a case, or this is important because of this.
Like you don't know how to interpret the Constitution when trying to apply it to specific cases.
Yeah, and so we've had to look at Supreme Court cases this past week. Yeah. Or these past 2 weeks, we've been looking at the same case, but in that case, we have to look at 4th Amendment and 8th Amendment claims or cases. So there's like 8 for the 4th Amendment, 8 for the 8th Amendment, and they're all different, right? But we have to see how they relate to the case we're looking at. And so I don't know how to interpret those cases or how how it works. So I was reading some of this language and I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is dissenting? What is concurring? What, basically, it means agreeing or disagreeing. And I was like, what's happening right now? But she told us we'd have to write like statements on those languages, right, from each case. And because I've never done that before, I was freaking out because I only had 3 days. And now I'm fine because she said it was a draft. So maybe I'll freak out a little more on the final draft, but I feel like I really have a good grasp on what I read. Like in the beginning I was reading it and was like, oh no, no, I have no idea what's happening. And now I feel fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that realization of I don't need to put all this pressure on myself right now.
Yeah.
Opened and cleared my mind so I could read it correctly. Like it was kind of fogging me.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it, but if I'm stressed about something,
Yeah.
even though like for a little bit I'll forget about it, I'll be reading something or doing something and it kind of just like blurs my vision. Like all I can see is that one thing that I was thinking about. So throughout the day, it was just like I would be reading a passage for a whole different class and it would just be like court cases like in front of my face and I was like, stop,
you're just honed
please.
in on it. Nah, I think it's good that like you came to that realization or like you noticed that, oh shit, it's a draft.
Well, she said it in class.
Oh, really?
But it wasn't on the assignment like description.
Okay.
So I was like, it's a draft? And I was already working on it on Sunday and I didn't even know what it was. So when she said that, I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
It looks really solid. You did like an amazing job on it. So I think for your first draft, like you're already setting yourself up for success, you know?
I think so too. On the last one, I was a little like, I wasn't as focused on it.
Yeah.
I wrote down all the main points that I thought, but I didn't go like super in depth like I did for the other two. But I definitely think I still did a good job. I know like where I messed up, but I don't really know how to fix it yet. So it's kind of like I'm just waiting for that feedback. But no, overall, this semester has been going pretty good. My mock trial started again. And yeah, I really like it. I like everything I'm doing.
That's good.
But it could be like you said, we're getting more into our major. And I don't have any more like classes that aren't towards my specific college.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big part of it was that taking those common body classes was, I don't want to say dreadful, but you know, they were all kind of tedious. Everything was basics of. And so we weren't really getting into the specifics of what it is that we're majoring in. It was all just general pertaining to the college. So I was taking a lot of general business classes, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like there were interesting parts to them, but none of them were really talking about things that I was interested in. So I'm taking a social media marketing class and I freaking love that class. I mean, we already do a little bit of that, or I already do a little bit of that now, right? And we do that with the podcast, but I mean, shit, after the first 2 modules, I'm already like, and I'm sure y'all have noticed we've taken a bit of a break on social media for the podcast. That's entirely on me. I haven't been creating content to post, but I think there wasn't really a vision for what it is that we were trying to post. Like we had an idea. Before it was just like random posts.
Yeah.
And then we were like, maybe the 2 posts leading up to the release of an episode should loosely correlate. But then thinking back, like we weren't getting crazy engagement on the posts unless they were very topical and niche, like coffee. Like at the coffee shop talk part 1 and part 2 are like one of our highest listened to episodes, and the posts that we posted on our Instagram had the most engagements and then like the most like outreach, like the hashtag coffee and like hashtag coffee lover.
Yeah, I feel like it's also because of the title.
Yeah,
like it's so cute. How can you not listen to it?
we had like a few hundred people like look at our posts like over the course of the 3 of them, or I guess the 4, because then we had the Monday after that we usually do. And so, altogether we had well over 1,000 impressions, meaning over 1,000 people saw it, right? Or not exactly, like we could obviously have some repeats in there, but adding the number, there was over 1,000 impressions over the course of the 4 posts centered around that topic, right? And so thinking about it now, it's like we don't have consistency or total consistency with what it is that we post. It is random, it's sporadic. I'm not consistent with the amounts that I post and when I post. And so that needs to change. And now I'm looking at like what I do with my parents' side business, the corner lot on Carly. It's a food truck lot. I also run that page. And at the height of it, because we're temporarily closed at the moment, at the height of it, whenever we were having tons of food trucks, I'm looking back and there was a lot of consistency with the brand, and also the posts. I didn't change up the font for like graphic posts. I didn't change colors. Like everything was consistent and had a specific theme. And so now looking at our podcast, like that's what needs to change. And so those changes will be coming. I'm going to be posting for this episode, obviously, like the normal clip and then the, hey, be sure to check out our episode, right? I think that was a step in the right direction. But the posts between those, like we need to step it up, maybe invest more in alternative types of content and kind of figure out what works for the podcast as far as Instagram. And then I need to start using Twitter very differently than Instagram. And then Facebook, I'm debating whether or not to use Facebook because I have it synced to our podcast RSS feed. So it's like all of our full episodes post to our Facebook page automatically. I don't even have to worry about it. So I'm thinking like, let me just let it do that. And I'm not even going to focus on Facebook because our demographic isn't on Facebook at all. Like we'll have our page, we'll have our @LiveWithJamPod, so nobody will ever be able to create a page that copies us. But I almost don't want to focus on Facebook until I can really get a good handle on Twitter and Instagram. And Facebook, I listened to a podcast recently today and they were like, Facebook just really is not creator friendly. Like it's a good place to connect with like family members and like professors or some shit, but it's not a place that today's generation is connecting on. It's Instagram, it's Snapchat, it's TikTok, and like the vast majority of like media consumption is Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And so I think I need to pour more resources into there and kind of abandon our Facebook for the time being. And then maybe I'll reinvest and figure out a different way. But I just don't want to spread myself too thin. And so, there's going to be some changes coming. And as we incorporate those changes, it's all going to be a learning experience, trying to better engagement on Instagram and hopefully give more of what it is that our followers would want, Like, I don't think they're really, like the quote posts are nice and stuff, right? But it's kind of like we're a podcast. And so our content should be entirely centered around our episodes. So that means posting more episode clips, maybe recording every now and then, just for small clips, not the whole episode. I don't think we're there yet. But, experimenting with different forms of content that gets more of what it is that we're doing out, because I think people would see like, what's your favorite coffee shop, right? And people engaged with that. But how does that relate specifically to the podcast? It relates to the podcast topic, right? But not entirely, right? So I think the brand persona isn't completely unified, right? And so that's something that we need to change and really hunker down on in order to increase our reach, increase the audience. Because we've definitely, from one year to the next, we have grown, but we're kind of stagnant at the moment. We have a consistent amount of listeners, right? Shout out to y'all. Love y'all for staying with us. But we haven't grown in the past few months. So, things need to change. We need to evolve. But
definitely. No, I look at our page sometimes and I'm like, it just doesn't look right. Not that it doesn't, like, the posts are nice.
Yeah.
But I follow, like, other podcasts and I'm like, what are they doing that we're not doing? And I don't know. It's definitely the way that it looks. Because when people first click on our page, it's like, oh, is it aesthetically pleasing? Questionable. Not really.
Yeah.
And other people who have our other podcast page, theirs is like down to the T. Yeah. Everything is uniformed. And I feel like because we don't have that, that's why we're not seeing as much engagement.
Yeah. I think we definitely need to change up, how we're approaching the content on the different platforms and the type of content that we're putting out. So I've been making small changes here and there. If you've noticed, our YouTube channel is a lot more updated.
Oh yeah. Did you say it?
What?
That you like got updated. Not updated. I'm so sorry. Hold on. That you finally got up to date on like our scheduling posts. Oh. Like they're the ones that are.
Yeah, I said that like probably 10 episodes ago, honestly.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Sorry. Oh yeah. We've been caught up on the YouTube, but like I've been updating how I approach the YouTube, because at that point it was just trying to catch up our YouTube channel to where we were at, which arguably maybe I went about it a little wrong. I was rushing a little too much. There's a little bit of inconsistencies with like, where the logo is on the square. And so I have alleviated that by creating templates that I can exactly line up everything so it is always the same and it looks a lot nicer. And now we have end cards that lead to the previous episode, and it's a lot nicer. It's kind of like a normal YouTube video, right? Like at the end you have an end card like, watch this, you might be interested in this, right? And then like a click here to subscribe. Like, we have those going on at the end of the video, and I've started to mess with some video editing software, and it's not like we do any intense editing, but I'm experimenting here and there. It's definitely been harder because been very busy, but I think because I have a lot of time with how my classes are set up, I'll have more time to invest in the podcast and change things up. Of course, because it's a 2-person thing, right? Like it's our podcast. Like I don't want to make any executive decisions until we consult with each other. So that's like where it's hard, is that even though we get together, like we're always doing other things. And so then we don't have the opportunity to talk about the podcast. And so change is coming very slow, but we make it into the chair and record every time, but it's like, as far as other aspects of the podcast, those are very hard to get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so keep an eye out for those changes because they will be coming. I can't give you a timeline, honestly. I'm hoping within the next couple weeks, but yeah, I don't know. Crazy shit. I really am enjoying my class. Like the social media marketing class, it's crazy. I love it. By the end of it, I will get a certification, social media marketing certification from HubSpot. So hyped for that. But that'll be my first cert, so I'm hyped as fuck for that.
No, that's really good. When you told me, I was like, dang, you're getting a 2-for-1.
And then I was looking into like a Google certification too, so definitely trying to get some certs in addition to my degree. That way I'm just that much more competitive. I might even be able to be a little more competitive with salary. And like, like I present, I bring a lot more to the table. Yes. You can offer me a little more, like, come on. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to get into, it does relate to my class, that organizational theory class, that Italian New Yorker guys.
Yeah.
Super funny. For these first few weeks, we've just been covering the Godfather movie. Fucking, it is like, it was so funny because I was like, what? Why are we watching the Godfather? And he's like relating it to business, which I see the relationship with business and The Godfather, right? Now that he's explained it.
Yeah.
But this was the first time that I watched The Godfather. I'd never watched it before. And upon first watching it, I wasn't too enthralled. But shit, like probably 20, 30 minutes into it, I was like, damn, like I am invested. By the end of the movie, I was at first like, yeah, it was kind of mid. But then like the more I thought about it, I was like, that was a good ass movie.
No, this is what I'm telling you.
What?
I texted you and I was like, oh, how's the movie going? And you're like, it's okay. I'm almost done. It's just super long. And then every day since, you've brought it up in some way and you just get more excited.
It's just a good movie. Like, it's one of those movies that everybody quotes that I didn't know until now. And then it's also like, you know, it's like an Academy Award winning one, I think, and like one of the most popular movies in the world. Like, people will give you a list of movies to watch. The Godfather is one of them. Never took the time to watch it. Shit, when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, my freaking family was dogging on me, sending me pictures of what I looked like. And I forgot who it was, but they said I looked like the Don, like the father in The Godfather. And like they sent a gif of it because I'd never seen it. I was like, haha, I kind of do look like that guy. But then like watching it, I'm like, fucking hell, like I really did. Like he had like a really pronounced lower jaw with like really defined like lower cheekbones. Like it was crazy. And I was like, fuck, I did look like that. You know, very square head. But no, it was an outstanding movie, and I fucked with it so hard. And now I want to watch part 2 and part 3. But they are long. They're like 3-hour movies. I was like a fourth through it, and I'm like, fucking hell, I must be like halfway through this movie. And I like moved the mouse to see how much I am, and I'm like, what? I'm only a fourth through this thing? Oh my goodness. That's why I texted you. I was like, man, that shit is long. But I do want to watch part 2 and part 3 now. Everybody says part 1 is the best, but that part 2 and part 3 are still good though. And it definitely pays off what was set up in the first movie, which is it was good. It was amazing. I think we should definitely watch it together.
Mm-hmm.
But that's up to you. I don't know if it'll be your type of movie, but I didn't think it would be my type of movie. So that's why I'm like, maybe it will. Maybe I'll like it. It's good. It was a good movie, and I fucked with it. So props to my professor for assigning that as a movie to watch. We had 2 quizzes on it, and I'm about to take an exam on it. So pretty hyped.
Real quick, I think it was your tío that sent that picture.
Maybe. Well, not because he sent the Crimson Chin and like Buzz Lightyear, but I don't know. I think it was my mom or my dad.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was my grandpa. It might have been my Thea. I don't think it was my Theo because he sent me like.
You're just naming like everybody in your family.
He sent me. I don't remember him sending me The Godfather. I remember him sending me like Crimson Chin, Buzz Lightyear, somebody else too.
He definitely looks like Buzz.
All right. But nah, I like my classes. I really do. I haven't touched statistics yet. I've looked at it. It doesn't look incredibly hard, but I'm taking statistics 2, by the way. I took stats 1 last semester. I got a B, and considering where I was, because I had like a 40 something, and that's entirely on me. Like how I explained earlier in the episode, waiting last minute. All those homeworks counted a lot more for my grade than I had originally anticipated. And when you turn in partially completed homeworks, you know, for a total of 5 of those, that really impacts your grade. And then didn't do so hot on the first exam. So it was like, I did not set myself up for success. And so halfway through the class, you know, there was only 8 weeks left in the class. I was like, I got to nut up or shut up. Like, I got to hunker down. I got to tighten the fuck up. Because if not, like, I'm about to fail this class and I got to retake it. And I didn't want that. Because that's money straight out my pocket. Because right now I am thankful to be using my father's Hazelwood Act. But you can't use it for a retake. So I got exempt for this class. But if I failed and had to retake it, I would have to pay for it. So it's like, fuck. I didn't want to do that, right? Because I'm very thankful for these benefits that I'm being able to use right now. And I did not want to have to do that and then spend more time on a class, right, that I already took, and that would have just been even more tedious. So I pulled through, went from like a 40 something to like almost an A. No, it was almost a B plus. It was like an 84 point something. So if I would have had an 85, it would have been a B plus. So I had a B minus.
No, you honestly did really good. Because I remember your grade was even lower, like in the 20s.
I don't know about the 20s. Maybe in the 30s. It might have been like a 39 point something.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite a 40. But then it got up to like 40 something. And I'm like, man, because it was like a 39 point, like 8 something. And I'm like, fucking A, right? And I remember I did one assignment like all the way through, like finally, like early on. And I think it bumped up to like a 43. And I was like, hold the fuck on. Like, that was a pretty significant jump for one homework assignment. 39 to 43. That's pretty good. So I'm like,
said, I got to keep doing this.
I was like, I can do this. I can pass this damn. Even if it was a 70, I would have still passed. And that was the goal. I was aiming for a 75. And then on my final to get a 70 or better. And by the time I got to the day of the final, I had an 86. And then I got on my final, I forgot what it was, but it was lower than my overall average, but I still passed. And so then my overall grade went from an 86 to that 84 point something. So I clutched up.
No, you did really good.
I clutched up hard. Like, I don't think I've ever had to recover from a grade as bad as that one ever in my educational career. That just goes to show children that if you put your heart to something, you can get it done.
It's true, because when you told me how low your grade was, like initially, I didn't have any words of encouragement because I didn't know how like the grading system worked.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm at a 60, like a week or two later, and I was like, already? And you just kept going up from there.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. The grading system, now most professors do it this way. I have yet to have a professor who hasn't done it this way. They have all of the assignments that you're ever going to do in the syllabus, and in the grades tab of Blackboard, it has the total potential that you can earn, not including extra credit. Extra credit is just added on. So let's say you get a perfect score on everything, which is very unlikely, and you got extra credit, like the numerator would be greater than the denominator of potential, right?
Yeah.
But in most cases, right, it's like, to get a 100 in the class, you need 1,000 points, right? And each assignment is worth, I don't know, let's say like each homework is worth like 20 points, and then like a quiz is worth 45, then an exam is worth like 100, right? So then all of those points accumulated over the course of the semester would add up to the grand total, and so that's how it would be calculated. So that's why I was able to know that if I at least got an 80 or better on all of the homeworks following like that middle of the semester in stats, I was like, I can do this. Like I can actually, like, it is possible. I just need to tighten up. And I did. I didn't miss a single homework assignment, and I did the 2 extra credit opportunities that he offered. I clutched the fuck up. Like, what can I say? I honestly, it's like one of my proudest moments. And some of y'all might be listening like, dude, you had a fucking 39. How's that your proudest moment? Like, the fact that I got from that point to where I damn near got to an A. I was at an 86. If I would have done outstanding on that final, honestly, never have ever been nervous on a fucking test in my life. But that stats final, I felt like it was on the line. Like, if I bombed that, I probably, like, I think if I got like a 30 something or lower, that final was worth so much of my grade that it had the potential to drop me to like a 68. So I would have failed by 2 points.
Is that the one you went in person for?
Yeah.
That I went with you?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
I was sweating. I was sweating when I came out that class. And I was nervous, but I was like, you know what? I got it. I need, like, minimum. I think with the grade I had, like, I could have got even, like, 70 something. And I would have had a B still, I think. Or, like, I would have a low B, high C. And I clutched up. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, if I would have got, like, a 90 something on that final, like, I might have been able to have reached the A territory.
Yeah.
That would have been the craziest come up. But I'm still proud of, like, what happened. So I haven't touched Stats 2 work yet, but that's not due for another, like, 2 weeks. So I'm gonna look at that probably end of this week and then start it next week. But, you know, crazy shit. A lot of stuff happening. Work's good. School's good. Vibing. I got a PS5.
Yes, you did.
Let me tell you all this story, bro. Okay, so I got friends, and I know a lot of people who have gotten PS5s. They bought them secondhand, and the PS5 has been out for like 2 years now. I have refused to buy them from a scalper or somebody selling it secondhand because they were like marking them up like way more than they were actually costing. The version that I bought cost $500, and I was seeing them for as much as $1,000, even more. Lowest I saw was like $700, but that was a year ago. And now people, I think because they're still so rare, are charging even more, right? And I was just like, man. And so honestly, I was about to give up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna get one, right? Because there's a couple games coming out that I've been looking forward to playing, and I wanted to get PlayStation before they came out because I didn't want to get spoiled. I'm like, I don't gotta play them day one, but I gotta play them within the time limit of them coming out, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get one in September, and I'm just gonna have to buy it. You know, hopefully I can try and find one for $100 markup, maybe $200 at the most. But those were few and far in between. Like a week and a half ago, I'm taking a shit. And I'm like, let me frame it for y'all. I'm about to get in the shower. So I'm butt ass naked, taking a shit. I'm on my phone as I do. And this thought just sprang into my head. Let me check the PlayStation website. Right? Because I was looking at my Target app, mm-hmm. Right? Sometimes I just like would scroll through, see what the deals are. I ended up deleting that app because the only reason I had it was to get the PlayStation 5. But I was like, damn, it's still out of stock. And I remember I asked the Target employee like probably like half a year ago. It was with you, and I was like, you know, any idea like when PS5s are in stock? And they're like, they're only sold online, and they usually get posted like 6 a.m. I was like, fuck. And I was like, and they get swept up quick. Like people have robots set up to like automatically buy them. I'm like, there's just no hope, man. I'm never going to get one. Like from like officially brand new, right? Mm-hmm. Week and a half ago, I'm taking a shit. Butt booty naked. Go to the PlayStation website for some odd reason, right? After looking at the Target app. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. It's like 6 p.m. Like if they were posted this morning, I would never know. They're probably already bought. I clicked on PlayStation 5, and typically it says out of stock, but this time it said add to cart. And I was like, am I fucking dreaming right now? I was like, what is happening? I click on it, I see that it adds to the cart, and I'm like, even if I go through with it though, like what are the chances that it's gonna actually let me go to try and put my card in? It's probably gonna say like out of stock, or oh, you just ran out, like fuck you, right? I put all of my card information. I am one step away. I just had to press place order, and I'm like, no fucking way, dude. I'm on the shitter, and I'm like, no fucking way. And I'm like, do I pull the trigger? Placed my order. It loaded for like 10 seconds, and I'm seeing the little circle like loading thing, like please wait. And then it says, congratulations, order has been confirmed. be receiving an email shortly with your order confirmation details. And I was like, no fucking way. I got so hyped. I like stood up. Still haven't wiped, mind you. Like, I'm fucking like ecstatic. Like, I fucking run out, put my phone on my desk, and I'm like, dude, no way I just copped a PS5 right now. Hop in the shower, get out. I'm feeling good. And then, like, not even an hour later, I get an email like, you're getting it this weekend, buddy. Right? This is like a Thursday or like a Wednesday when I bought it. And it's like, it's coming this Saturday. And I'm like, what the fuck? That soon? I just bought from PlayStation, not Amazon. What's going on? Oh my goodness. It gets here Saturday. I come home from work, right? I'm at work. And then I get the little email notification on my Apple Watch, like, order dropped off. And I'm like, no way, let's go. I get home and I open it up. I'm like, this can't be real, bro. It still feels unreal. It's just sitting there, this giant fucking machine on my desk. I am so happy. 2 years. 2 years. So happy. Been playing the shit out of it. It came with Horizon Forbidden West, if you know that game or that game series. Pretty good, honestly, pretty solid. Beginning was very slow, but it's been an incredible time. Very lucky to have had the opportunity to cop one, and I am hyped for these next 2 games that are going to come out. If you're interested in knowing what those are, it's God of War Ragnarok and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm finna play the shit out of those games. I am super hyped. But not crazy experience. Like, I'm probably going to remember that for the rest of my life. Because never has getting a console ever been so hard. Like, at all. And so it feels good to have one. And that's not to like rub it in the face of people who don't have one who are listening. Look, just check the PlayStation website on the shitter. You might get lucky like me. But it was well worth the wait, honestly. So I'm very happy to have one. And I'm excited to play with my friends again. I've yet to play with them, but just been busy still. But yeah, it's fucking hell. Like, it's like a fever dream. Like, I can't believe it. Like, it's like the gods were rewarding me for recovering from COVID. And they were like, here's a PS5. And it was,
Like, you've been through enough.
I know.
Let's give you a PS5.
I feel good. I feel real good. But yeah, I digress. Been talking a lot. Babe, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah. I was just listening to you. Honestly, I loved your story. It was very comedic. I was getting into it.
Yeah. It's all true.
I know. And the crazy part about it is that I'm taking like a journalism class. Mm-hmm. Kind of. It's like a journalism class. Yeah. We're talking about journalism. And it was like being objective, like just stating all of the facts. And for your whole story, I was like, he's doing a really good job. And I'm so entertained right now. And we were talking about like being creative. Yeah. Like when you're writing like a factual piece. And so you were just giving everything that needs to be given. The only thing that was non-objective was that I'm not even sure why you were like an unsure feeling. I don't know. You said something and it was like,
like I didn't know if this was real or not.
No, not that. You said something about what you were feeling. So I don't know how to explain it. I don't remember exactly what you said. But anyways, that one thing was like not objective. And I was like, oh, so that's his one thing out of the whole piece. And
the whole piece.
You did an amazing job, to say the least.
Appreciate that.
I don't know why my brain was like putting the pieces together. They're like, this is a great.
I didn't know I was being analyzed, honestly. I was just telling a very
well, I didn't even know I was analyzing you until like you had me
story.
Laughing.
Like, I'm going to tell this story to our kids. Like, I mean, they'll be like, Dad, what is that, right? When like the fucking PS26 is out. I'm like, what the hell is that ancient machine, Dad? I'm going to be like, that, son, is a battle. Let me tell y'all a story. I'm going to sit him down. I'm going to tell him I was like 2 long years I waited. A pandemic. They're going to be like, a what? I'd be like, a pandemic.
Why are you making him sound like country?
A what, Dad? A pandemic, son. what is that? And I was like, well, and then I'm gonna fucking explain the botched story of COVID, and then I'll be like, son, I'm on the shitter. The shitter, Dad?
Stop.
Yes. And hop on the PlayStation website, and lo and behold, it's on there. I'm gonna do a lot better job, but I'm excited for that too. Like telling stories to our kids. Like I'm gonna make shit up. Like I'm gonna tell them like real stories, but like add a lot of fake shit to it. And then when they're older, I'll be like, it was all cap. Like I was just trying to entertain y'all.
You're gonna be just like your grandpa, where you just don't know what's real anymore.
Oh my gosh, I don't know when my grandpa is like fucking around and when he's actually like being serious and like telling a true story. I never believe him. I'm always waiting for the punchline. So sometimes he doesn't deliver a punchline. I'm like, huh?
He just stops talking.
He stops talking. But then like dead silence. Nobody's talking, and then he delivers it, and I'm like, fucking hey man, I was taking you seriously now, and then a punchline is delivered.
But you're kind of gullible. Honestly,
I don't know about
because
that.
I've known your dad for less time than you have,
Yeah.
and I know when he's lying. And like you'll be believing him.
Oh, that's the thing. Like
no, it's
I've
just
lived
like
with him my whole life. I'm inclined to believe what my father tells me.
I know, but he does this to you every time. So why don't you know? But anyways, like I'll be listening to him. I don't know if it's a facial expression. I don't know. But I get the vibe that he's lying.
No, my mom says it too. He's like, he's making the face, and like there's a face. I don't always notice it, but it's like I can sense it. Like we'll be talking, and my mom is looking at me, and my dad is behind my mom, and she'll stop. He's making the face, isn't he? It's like you're not even looking at him. Can you like sense it? Like what is going on?
Well, anyways, he has something about him.
Yeah,
shows that he's lying.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's no way that he's believing this right now. Like you.
I think sometimes I'm like going along with the joke, but other times, yes, I am. It's like a Boy Who Cried Werewolf situation. The one time I'm not gonna believe him and it's gonna be for real. And be like, son, watch out, there's a killer behind you. And be like, yeah, right. And then I'm gonna get stabbed and
Why would you say it like that?
Well, I don't know. You're right. He would be more. Nah, we scare each other in this house. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I guess you're
I mean, we'll go all out. We'll be like, and like freak the shit out of each other. And
I've been there when you've done that, and your mom like screams.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why do you keep doing that to her?
It's so funny. I love this house. Love my family. I don't know. It's just like that's how I want to be with our kids. Is like
just lie to them.
Yeah, like practical jokers, just fucking, just riffing, having a good time. Like we'll be serious when we need to be serious, but for the most part, like we're just cracking jokes, enjoying familial time, And like I'm gonna censor myself, obviously, during the adolescence of our children's lives, but then
I don't need phone calls from parents.
As they get, yes, I don't want them repeating what I'm saying until they understand that there's a time and place for that stuff. But yes, whenever they're older, then I will start to be more laxed with my language, much like how my brother and myself and my family are. Like we weren't really laxed with our language until my brother and I were in high school. I mean, even then, like even in middle school, there was a little more relaxation with what we said and how we said and like the tone of it. But now that we're much older, my brother's a senior, and I'm almost a senior in college. It's like things are different. And so we definitely interact differently. A lot more mature, a lot of cussing.
Oh, yeah.
All jokes, though. We never cuss at each other. We cuss with each other.
That's a good thing. But speaking of cussing a lot, Julian came to school with me on, I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Monday. And I kid y'all not, every sentence, there was at least one cuss word.
I don't know about that.
No, it was every sentence.
I don't know about that.
And sometimes it was like 3 in a row. And like it was just a normal conversation for you.
I'm like Like a kid who learned how to cuss for the first time. I just try to put it into every single sentence.
It was just so funny because we were walking and I was like, damn, because I saw one of my professors and you were talking kind of loud and I was like, please. And you were like still just cussing, no problem.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. That's the thing. It wasn't even anything like crazy.
Because it was after your first, or was it after your second class and we were walking to the library, right?
No, it was going to my second class. I have like a 10-minute break and we were walking over there.
That's right. Yeah.
And we were waiting for the elevator too. And I was like, please. Because sometimes professors take elevators.
Yeah, what was I saying?
I couldn't tell you because I was just focused on the fact that like you were cussing and my professor walked by and I was like,
honestly,
don't look at me.
Yeah, like I'll cuss a lot if it involves something vulgar or comedic. So there was something along those lines I think being talked about. No, it was definitely not normal like.
It was just a normal conversation.
No,
it was.
No way.
And usually I don't notice because you do it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think when I saw my professor, I don't even have her anymore.
Yeah.
But like, we all know, everybody knows each other. So I was like, hey, oh no.
Rip.
Because I don't cuss. So it's like.
That's true. You don't like, it's very weird when you do. And it's like, not off-putting, but it's like it's off-colored for you, right? And so it's like, whoa, like, hey, watch your fucking language. Oh my goodness. But it's funny because it's not normal for you. That's like when my brother first started cussing around myself and my family. It was an adjustment, right? He's older now, he's mature, he understands there's a time and place for it, but you know, now like when we joke, we do incorporate some cuss words, I think, to add comedic value. And he'll do it. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it still comes off kind of aggressive. I'm like, hey bro, like, we're joking, right? Nah, but like it's now we're kind of used to it, but it is still a little weird, especially too because I view him like as my little brother, and like he's so big now and he's taller than me and his voice is like deep as shit. Like I saw a video of my brother and my mom posted on her Instagram, and like the screams that we were emitting, our laughs,
they were so high pitched.
They were so high pitched, and it's just funny to see where we came from and like how I was actually a big brother. Because now it's like he's fucking taller than me. So
sometimes I think about that.
Yeah.
Like my family and I used to take pictures every year.
Yeah.
For a little while, and we didn't get to where Gabby was the same height as me. Like we stopped, I think, when I went to middle school.
Yeah.
And up until then in elementary school, I was always taller than her. And I was like, oh, my little sister, right? And even in high school, I was still a little taller than her.
Yeah.
Up until like, I think it was either sophomore or junior year. It was like she hit my height. And I was like, this is it. She's either going to stay here with me or she's going to move up. Lo and behold, she moved up. But I was looking at videos from when we were in high school, like your Snapchat memories. And I was like, she was so cute. She was so little.
Oh my god.
And it was literally like 4 years ago. So I guess it was junior year.
Yeah.
I was still taller than her. But she was so little. Because she had just turned 10, or she was just about to turn 10. And I just, oh my gosh, I did not appreciate the years that I had. Like, she was so small. And
That's
I just,
funny.
I miss feeling like a big sister.
Right.
Like, my traits are different than her. I am in college. Like, I'm a little more mature, right? Gabby's pretty mature, honestly. So,
yeah,
not even.
I'd say so.
But anyways, like, I'm still a little bit more, right? Because I've gone through more things. But it's kind of just like, I don't feel like a big sister because she's taller than me.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, she'll hug me, and I'm the smaller one. And it's kind of like, how am I supposed to protect you when you're literally like 5 inches taller than me?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I wish I would have cherished those little moments when she was a baby.
No,
Because we're 6 years apart. You think I would have had a little longer. But no, I did not.
yeah, that's where like, not, yeah, I definitely do get mad at myself. I don't beat myself up about it, but like looking back, like I was definitely mean to my brother when him and I were smaller, and we're 3 years apart for context, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm 8, he's 5, and like so on and so forth. It wasn't really until I got to like 7th and 8th grade that immaturity between the two of us. I don't want to say immaturity because even now we're still like immature with each other, but it's like,
it's different.
Yeah, that violence and resentment towards each other definitely dissipated. And so the relationship we have now is a lot better than it was back then. And I just wish I would have been like that more back then, because back then I was like the bigger brother, right? Which I still am. And that's not to say that I still can't offer guidance or be there for Diego when he needs it. But I mean, Diego's voice is like arguably deeper than mine at times, especially his laugh. Like, I think when I laugh, like, it naturally goes to a little bit of a higher pitch. I mean, it's like a consistent pitch. And, crazy. So I got a video. I'm going to play it from my Snap memory. This is like one of the only, I've rarely saved shit on Snap, so it doesn't take me very long to get to the video in question. I'm already there. So basically, for reference, it was raining a lot, and we had like one of those pop-up tents outside, and there was like this giant pouch of water, and my brother and I went outside. I think I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, so that means my brother was either like in 7th or 8th grade, and so, or no, 6th or 7th grade, and like the difference in our voices, oh my goodness. Hold on, actually, I'm still trying to find it. There's one of us like running through the rain, but you can't really like hear. Oh no, you know what? Okay, look. We're okay. Scratch that video. This one, we're like, it's pouring rain, and we're about to run to my car because we were gonna go get food. And I think this was like the beginning of my sophomore year. So it's my sophomore year, and Diego is he's in 7th grade. So you're going to hear me be like, all right, Diego, let's go. And he's like, okay, brother. And like runs.
I've heard this one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You ready?
It's getting heavier, brother. Come on. It's getting heavier, Diego. This is next. Go, 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 go. It's unlocked. It's already my God. Diego, don't slip, don't slip. Get in the car, get in the car. Ah! Oh my gosh. Jesus, why did it get so heavy? Oh my gosh. That rain is freaking heavy. It just, oh my gosh, it is freaking, that's insane. 0 to hero. That was awesome. Crap. That was pretty boys.
I did not know him back then, so it's just so funny.
Like, that was me prominently speaking, but did you hear him say like 0 to hero? And like, look, I'm gonna play the beginning again. You're gonna hear him be like, go, go, go.
Heavier, brother. Come on. It's getting heavier.
Did you hear that? It's getting heavier, brother. Like, oh my gosh, we sounded so different. It sounded like I was forcing my voice to be deep in that video.
It did sound different.
And then like it was still changing, and then Diego's voice. Oh my gosh, that's just, it's so funny to hear his voice back then. Not even.
Baby, he's little.
It is so funny to hear. Not even like 4 years ago. It was probably like 3.5 years ago. And like the way he looked too, completely different. He was still shorter than me at this point. And a extremely high pitched voice. And now he's like a totally different man. It's crazy. Super deep voice. Oh my gosh.
No, I remember you showing me the beginning of that clip of y'all running.
Yeah.
I've never watched the whole thing. Like, so when he talked the second time, I was like, oh my God.
0 to hero. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is, and I'm like, like, why did I?
You I forget what you looked like.
That was
in high
crazy.
School.
What am I doing? Ugh. No, that was
It's
that was
okay.
funny.
We all go through stuff.
Yeah, we do. But yeah,
That was fun.
it was fun. Little trip down memory lane. But we are already at a little over an hour, so I feel like this is a pretty solid place to close out the episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good.
This was a really fun one. I think we're still gonna do planned content, but I definitely like just kind of chilling, vibing, just going back and forth, saying what's on our mind. So we really hope that y'all enjoyed the episode. Thank y'all for coming back and listening as always. Do rate us and give us a review on your podcast listening platform of choice. Really helps us get to the front page of what's trending. And it's good to hear the feedback so we can kind of cater the content to what it is that you like about the show and kind of steer away from what it is that you don't like about the show. But do remember to also follow us on our socials at Live with Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Facebook may start to get a little bit phased out for a undetermined amount of time, but definitely if you want to catch us and interact with us more, Instagram and Twitter are going to be the place to do that. That's at Live with Jam Pod, all lowercase, no spaces in between. And for our YouTube listeners, we love you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. What was your favorite part of the episode? Do you have an interesting story to tell? Did you get a PS5? Are you an Xbox person? Let me know. But yeah, other than that, did you have anything else to add before we close it out?
Nope.
All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of y'all's week, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.